Hey there and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Man United ready to give a green light for Raphael Varane's sale in January. Manchester United are prepared to give the green light for Raphael Varane's exit during the January transfer window, according to Florian Plettenberg. The Frenchman has been a substitute over the past few games in all competitions, with manager Erik preferring Harry Maguire in the right centre-back role. The Dutch tactician does not believe Varan is effective enough from left centre-back. He has preferred the likes of Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof over him recently. With Luke Shaw back from a muscle injury, the manager now has another option for the role, which may increase the uncertainty over Varane's future with United. Plettenberg now claims that United are aware that Varane is unhappy over his current situation. They are prepared to give the green light for a winter departure, but won't entertain any loan offers. The 2018 World Cup winner is currently valued between 20 to 30 million euros. Bayern München are monitoring the former Real Madrid defender, but there is nothing more at this stage. The German champions are unlikely to match his current weekly wages. The 30-year-old is no longer an assured starter with the Red Devils, and we won't be surprised if he contemplates a move away from Manchester in the new year. Bayern are presently not in a position to meet his 20 million euros annual salary, and in our view, a move to the Saudi Pro League seems a more likely choice for the centre-back. Saudi clubs have been willing to offer substantial wages to several elite players, and Varane could easily double his salary if he were to move to the cash-rich league this winter. In the process, United could easily secure a good transfer fee, which would help in their bid to land a quality replacement. Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo appears the top target. The 23-year-old could be signed for 40 million euros. United should be able to afford him, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe prepared to provide financial assistance after securing his minority stake at the club. Manchester United right-back Aaron Wan-Bissaka considering playing for Congo at 2024 AFCON. Manchester United right-back Aaron Wan-Bissaka is considering the opportunity to represent the Democratic Republic of the Congo at the Africa Cup of Nations next year, according to the athletic journalist David Ornstein. The English-born fullback has been approached by the African country but is yet to make a decision. However, playing at such a major tournament and representing Les Leopards is appearing having not been called up by England in recent months. The Man United defender would be unavailable for selection for parts of the early weeks of 2024 if he accepts the invitation from Congo. The AFCON runs from January 13 to February 11, and the Central African country have been drawn in Group F alongside Zambia, Morocco, and Tanzania. Wan-Bissaka was called up by England for the 2020 European Championship qualifiers against Kosovo and Bulgaria in September 2019, but he was forced to withdraw from the squad due to a back injury. The 25-year-old is not in contention to make the squad for Euro 2024 and could be tempted to play for Congo, having made a single appearance for the country's under-20 side in 2015. Wan-Bissaka represented England under-20 and under-21, making it to the 2019 European Under-21 Championship, but he is yet to appear for the senior side and could now be tempted to go where he is wanted. He has made 8 appearances for the Red Devils this term, and being without him for a couple of weeks would be a blow, with the players expected to report for preparations for AFCON early in January. Man United could also be without Cameroon international goalkeeper Andre Onana and Morocco international midfielder Sofiane Amrabat during that period, leaving manager Erik with some crucial decisions to make ahead of the January transfer window. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer heaps praise on Harry Maguire for his Manchester United comeback. Former Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has praised Harry Maguire for winning back his place in the first team. Harry Maguire has transformed his status at Man United in the last few weeks from being a bench player to a regular in the starting 11. Solskjaer has lauded the 30-year-old for ignoring the criticism he has received over the last year. He said, I think he has dealt with it in a fantastic way. It has not been easy. I have kept in touch with him, and I have nothing but praise for the guy. He has been in it. It's not easy to leave Manchester United because there is a downturn almost everywhere you go. You get paid for your efforts when you are that type, when you are a good footballer, and show that you have a heart for the club. I guess he has gradually learned who to listen to. I'm very happy that Harry in particular shows what kind of player he is, but not least what kind of type and person he is. That's why I made him captain. We in Norway call it Hellwood. The Red Devils paid a whopping £80 million to sign Harry Maguire from Leicester in 2019. Solskjaer named Maguire the club captain soon after his arrival, which raised a few eyebrows. Erik Ten Hag gave the centre-back a chance to show his worth at the start of the last season. After suffering humiliating defeats against Brentford and Brighton and Hove Albion, Ten Hag dropped Maguire to the bench. The England international struggled to gain regular game time and was stripped of the captaincy in the summer. He was also made available for a transfer, but he opted to stay at Old Trafford to prove his worth. Maguire has arguably been the best United player over the last few weeks. He has been rock solid at the back and excelled with his long ball distribution. Rather than passing the ball to fullbacks, he is trying to play incisive passes through the middle. It's great to see how the defender has turned around his fortunes. He has vindicated Solskjaer's decision to back him during his tenure as a manager. Erik Ten Hag absolutely adamant Manchester United star will be successful. Erik Ten Hag has delivered his latest backing of Rasmus Holand, who has still yet to score in the Premier League. Rasmus Holand, who joined Manchester United from Atalanta in the summer for £64 million, has failed to find the back of the net in the Premier League so far. In Europe, however, it's a different story for the Danish forward. In the Champions League, Hoyland has netted 5 times in Europe's Premier competition and looks to be at ease. In the Premier League, it has been a struggle for the 20-year-old forward, but the Dane has hardly had any chances to really break his duck in England, and surprisingly, as he has done throughout the season, Erik Ten Hag has backed his striker to score. He said, if you score in the Champions League 5 times, you will also score in the Premier League. It's just a matter of time. As long as we, as a team, are creating the chances, and as long as he is convinced, I believe he will start scoring goals. Man United fans will be concerned by latest David Ornstein update. Thanksgiving weekend means that another week has passed where Sir Jim Ratcliffe hasn't been able to take his place at Man United's top table. It's unlikely to come as any surprise to supporters of the club who have been waiting for an age to see some type of takeover scenario come to fruition. Until everything has been signed, sealed, and delivered, fans would be forgiven for thinking that there could be an 11th hour hitch. All the discussions do appear to be far enough down the line now for that not to be the case. It would simply seem to be a case of dotting the final Is and crossing the T's. However, the longer-term scenario for Sir Jim might not be as straightforward as he and everyone else was hoping for either. David Ornstein said, I assume Sir Jim wouldn't be coming in with 25% and sporting control as the end goal. That makes me think there will be a roadmap of sorts, but if so, I'm not sure if that will be formal or not at this stage. The complexity and time it's taking to finalize the initial deal suggest any further steps will take way longer to put in place. Thoughts of any further business are, frankly, discussions that need to be had another time. Sir Jem and his incoming team have a number of issues to concern themselves. Firstly, just in order to get the club back on an even keel in a sporting sense, if they are able to do so over the course of the next 12-18 months, then those discussions regarding a phased full takeover may be worthwhile. Man United remain keen on signing Adrian Rabu on a free transfer. Manchester United remain interested in signing Juventus midfielder Adrian Rabu on a free transfer, according to Italian outlet calciomercato.it. The Frenchman was a top target for manager Erik in the summer of 2022. He personally spoke with the midfielder to convince him over the project, but a move did not materialize due to a disagreement over personal terms. United refused to meet his 10 million euros per year demands. Rabiot went on to impress for the Bianconeri last season with 6 goals and 11 assists across all competitions. He was fancied to leave the club on a free transfer last summer, but was eventually convinced to sign a new deal until June 2024 on the same salary. It's now reported that there is no news over the midfielder extending his contract at Juventus, and this is likely to be attractive to many top-ranking teams across the channel. United are always on the trail of him and could explore a free transfer at the end of the campaign. Juventus were more than happy to offload Rabiot last year, but United could not find an agreement over the wages with the player's agent, who happens to be his mother. This proved a blessing in disguise for the Serie A outfit. The midfielder was their standout performer last term, with 17 goal contributions operating from the number 8 role. He has 1 goal and 2 assists in 11 appearances this season. The Frenchman has recently worn the captain's armband following injuries to Danilo and Alexandro. Bianconeri boss Allegri is doing his best to convince Rabiot to stay, but the midfielder is likely to move on, with the club reluctant to increase his wages. United are once again linked with his services, but in our view, the club should look beyond him. Rabiot will turn 29 before the end of the season and would be a short-term signing at best. There is no guarantee that he will quickly adapt to the higher intensity of the Premier League. Soufiane Amrabat has had a mixed bag of performances since his arrival from Fiorentina. This is a warning sign. The club should look at a younger midfielder with room for progression. Man United tracking Yousef Fana ahead of a January transfer approach. Manchester United are keeping a close eye on Monaco midfielder Yousef Fofana ahead of a possible approach during the January transfer window. The Frenchman was a target for the Red Devils before the summer transfer deadline, but Monaco rejected their proposal of a loan deal with a buy option. United have recently revived their interest in the former Strasbourg man, and Calciomercato claimed that a scout was in attendance to watch Fofana closely on Tuesday. The 24-year-old played 90 minutes for France against Greece in the final Euro 2024 qualifier. He made a big impression with a goal and completed 101 passes. Fofana has been touted to pursue a bigger challenge since the summer. Fulham and Nottingham Forest tried to sign him on a permanent basis, but he chose to stay put. It's quite clear that the Frenchman wants a much bigger challenge in his career. In our view, United could swoop for him in January if Casemiro were to move to Saudi Arabia. Casemiro is no longer in the prime of his career. He had a good debut season at United, but has shown signs of regression since the beginning of the ongoing campaign. He has also become more injury prone and is currently out until January with a hamstring issue. We believe United would be tempted to accept a lucrative offer from the Middle East for him. If he decides to move on, the club could invest the money on Fofana. Fofana has a similar defensive attributes as Casemiro, but he is much better in making ball recoveries. He could be available for a relatively low price of 30 million euros this winter. Everton could be forced to cash in on Amadou Onana in January amid interest from Manchester United. Everton could be forced to cash in on Manchester United target Amadou Onana during the January transfer window to ease their financial woes, according to TalkSport. The Toffees could turn to the transfer market to raise funds, with their potential takeover dragging on after they were handed a 10-point deduction for breaching Premier League financial fair play rules. Amadou is one of their most sellable assets, and Man United were one of the clubs interested in signing him during the last summer transfer window. However, the Red Devils ended up moving for Fiorentina midfielder Sofiane Amrabat instead, signing the Morocco international on loan. Amrabat is yet to impress, while Casemiro was below par before injury forced him to the sidelines. Man United manager Erik ten Hag could be forced to sign another midfielder in January, and the Everton situation could play perfectly into their hands. Onana has been one of their best players this term, appearing in 11 Premier League games. The 22-year-old has the potential to establish himself as a star at a bigger club, and the Red Devils could get a chance they cannot afford to miss in the coming weeks. His brilliant tackling and aerial presence in both boxes are qualities Man United require in a defensive midfielder right now. The former Lille star is 6 feet and 4 inches tall, and it was unsurprising he was ranked 6th for the most aerial duels won out of all the midfielders in the Premier League last term. Onana was also ranked 8th for the most tackles won and has backed himself to hit the ground running at a big club, whilst admitting that there was interest in him last summer. They could come knocking again in January, and the Old Trafford club should not hesitate to move for him. As we wrap up today's Manchester United news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.